All right, welcome everybody. Let's do some warming up, go side to side, kind of reach up and over. And then we're going to work the legs a little bit, kind of up and around. Just a little warming up of all the joints and muscles. Good, bring the leg the other way. Excellent, and other side. Up and around. Today we'll try to talk about the muscles a little more. So this would be your abductor muscles going away, out and away from you, kind of these side muscles. And then bring it in. Those are the adductor muscles. Good, and then open and close the hands. Those are the forearm muscles in here. So people sometimes think it's more up in here that you're using your muscles, but when you grip something, you're actually using these muscles right in here. Go ahead and stretch that out. Open the chest, take a couple deep breaths. Good, and then we'll stretch the triceps, the back of the arm. So here, and then turning to the side. And other side. Sometimes it also helps to stretch the muscles because then you feel them a little more when you're stretching. So I'll talk about the muscles a little today, and also we'll do more stretching throughout the workout. Let's go forward and back with the hips. Whenever you come up like this, it works your glute muscles. So this is glutes, and then quadriceps or hip flexors. And then some torso rotations, just abdominal muscles. This would probably be more of the muscles that go diagonal, the oblique abdominal muscles. Same with if we go like this, work right through there. So the abs have muscles that go up and down, sideways, and diagonal. That's how we're able to move in all these directions. Good, and then just reach up. Last one, reach up and just take a deep breath in the abs. Excellent. Okay, so let's get our ball out first. We're going to work the ab muscles, specifically the rectus abdominis. That's the one that goes straight up and down in the front of the body. So put the ball at your lower back, and we're just going to go back and forth. Inhale, open up the muscle there, and then exhale, tighten. Yeah, just keep working your breath. We'll do about 10 more. Nice and slow on the way back, especially. We got 3 more to go. We can even test your muscle knowledge a little bit. What muscle is going to be the lower back muscle? Let's take the ball to upper back. We're going to be pressing back. That's going to be your lower back muscles or muscle. What is it called though? That little muscle that right back in the middle of the lower back. That's called the erector spinae. It's not a very big muscle. That's why people hurt their backs easy. It's more of a supportive muscle. So it's good to work it, get it stronger. We can go a little slower on the let up. So press back, let up slow. We'll do about 10 more of these. Three more. Good. So let's go back to abs. We're going to go lower back again with the ball. But this time, let's actually go long arm and reach across. So it's going to be the muscle that goes diagonal, tightening there, and then opening up. That is the oblique abdominal muscle, the obliques. And it does help to look back and then look forward and go slow on the way back. Exhale, inhale. Today's actually second day that I've felt like I can think a little bit after having COVID. Still a bit of long COVID, but boy, feel a little bit less cloudy today. There's a lot of sinus type pressure in the head. Let's do 2 more. Good, other side. So if you've had long COVID, I get you now. I understand. I really didn't get it before. I'll admit that. I had a client come to me once and was like, yeah, I'm still dealing with long COVID. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's get on to the next thing. No, I'd understand it now. Just a lot of loss of energy. And when you lose your senses too, it's kind of disturbing as well. But I understand you can actually retrain your smell and everything. You got to go out and smell some coffee and aromatherapy type stuff. Get your smeller back in order. Might have to go do some smelling training. Let's do 2 more. Good. So let's put the ball in the middle of the back and pressing back. It's going to work some of that erector spinae muscle again, just a different way. Show you from the side so you can see. About middle, push, and then relax. If you have to, get right up in there so you can be a little more against it and really work it harder. Exhale, hold, and then inhale, relax. A little bit of hip flexor muscles working too in the front. Do 2 more. Good. And then give yourself a little massage wherever you want. Find the good spot. Massage it around a little bit. Give you about 30 seconds. You deserve it. Came to the class. You're taking care of yourself. Let's do about 10 more seconds here. Move it around wherever you like. Okay, so let's put the ball between the legs. And we'll go ahead and work those forearm muscles, working here when you grip your strength. And then also the adductors, ADD, bringing to, squeezing, and relaxing. And let's work the transverse abdominal muscle. That's the one that goes sideways. So we're working the adductors, the forearms, and the transverse abdominal muscles. Try to relax everything else. So don't get up in the shoulders. Try to just focus on those 3 muscles and relax everything else, or those 3 groups. Do 2 more. Good. And then we're going to put the ball underneath the leg. It's time for quadriceps. And we're going to kick, hold, and then relax. Kick, hold, come down really slow. The quadriceps, there's 4 muscles in the leg there. That's why it's called quadricep. You got vastus medialis in the middle, vastus lataris on the side, I think rectus femoris, and then there's maybe a sembranosus, but I'm not positive on the 4. And relax. This is just the general muscle class. We'll have one with more specifics later. Quadriceps right here. Actually, I've been doing some yoga coloring book. That's always fun. It's a good way to learn the muscles with a coloring book. Two more of these. All right, next one. Let's go ahead and put the ball between the legs, but we're going to mostly be working your calf muscles. So the calf muscles are the ones back here, up and down. There's actually 2 calf muscles in there. One when you're seated, one kind of works more when you're seated, and one works more when you're standing. And the way I remember it is soleus is seated, so it starts with an S as well as seated. And then the gastrocnemius is the standing calf raise. So we'll do that in a little bit with the weights. So we're working the soleus calf muscle. Come down real slow. Put a little pressure on it now. Kind of hard to work seated calves with, smaller weights and stuff. You have to do more reps. But there is a machine where they have a thing on your legs and then you just push it up and down. All right, good. So what I want to do is take a little break and stretch a little bit before we move on to the next tool. Let's start with just an ab stretch, reaching up, kind of stretching the stomach area. And since we know we have all these different ab muscles, just kind of stretch over and back and then over all the different areas. A little twisting, there's so many ab muscles in there, huh? And then we're going to stretch that lower back, the erector spinae muscle, just by folding forward. And take a couple breaths. Try to breathe into your lower back. Good. And then just pull your toes up, stretching those calves a little bit. Just pull them up with your front of your shin muscles. We need to work those shin muscles anyway, so hold them just like that for about 10 seconds. You can take 2 deep breaths or a nice deep breath. Good. Relax for a moment and then pull it back up again. So we are working the tibialis anterior muscles too in the front of the shins. There's the peroneus longus as well on the side of the leg. that might be working too. We actually have a peroneus longus kick in karate. The idea is to kick with this part of your leg. It was more to just get somebody's hand out of the way or something that's laying on the ground while you're trying to fight. It's a little bit different. All right, relax. Let's get our weights out. The karate that I practice is not just hang out fighting. It's meant for when your life is in danger. Let's sit forward on the chair, forward and back. And so, and it could be, and we did practice against multiple opponents too. And we had techniques and stuff for against 2 or 3 people. That's more black belt, brown and black belt level, but you got to deal with the people on the ground as well. Fortunately, I haven't been in that sort of situation ever. Side to side. So we're definitely working more of those same ab muscles. Once again, this is the obliques. We already worked the rectus abdominis. So it's like you're getting a couple sets, just different equipment, same muscles. All right, so we're gonna go on to chest press. And we're gonna be working mostly the chest muscles, the pectoralis major. Sit back, you're gonna have your back nice and straight, coming up and together. Good, and there's arm muscles in here that we're working. Anybody know what arm muscles we're working? Could be biceps, could be triceps. All right, it's triceps. So when you extend up with your arms, you're actually working your tricep muscles too. So up and together, triceps and chest. You are tightening the lower back area and the abs a little bit. Let's do about 5 more. Nice and slow on the way down. Good. So then we're going to go ahead and go on to rowing. I like to do a rear delt row sometime, flare those elbows out. And this is going to work your back muscles. You got the trapezius muscles up in the upper back, the rhomboid muscles kind of in the middle of the back. There's a little bit of rear deltoid or rear shoulder as well, because we're doing the rear delt row. So that's the rear delt row. Normally we go kind of like this, but using it like this, you hit the rear deltoid a little more. Let's do about 5 more of those. Tighten that lower back, the little erector spinae muscles, keep working them. And relax there. And we were working some arm muscles when we do this. So whenever we do a row or a pull, we actually use the biceps. Whenever you push, you use triceps. So let's go back to this pushing exercise and notice that you're working your triceps and your chest. Do about 15 of them, nice and steady. We're just going to repeat 1 more set of each of those. Three more. Good. And then we'll go back to the rear deltoid row. So working biceps when you pull it up, you're kind of tightening these muscles here. But you're mostly working the big muscles in the back. Trapezius, rhomboids, latissimus dorsi and the rear deltoid. And the erector spinae. Keep that back tight. Let's do 2 more. All right, let's just go back to forearms. That's in and out. Working those wrists. So anytime you turn the wrist, you're actually working the forearm muscles to pull it up and out. So see some of these guys worked in the shipyard that have the big Popeye forearms. It's pretty much from grabbing things and moving them around and doing all this wrist work and whatnot too. Heavy wrist work. Down and up. Some of those people might have even learned that if you might want to strengthen all those muscles even more so that you don't have issues when you're doing all that work all the time. This is like a flashlight. So there's forearm muscles in here. Well, once again, this is the general class. We'll do more specific. I'll talk about what forearm muscles are in there. I'll have to go back to my books though. All right, and so let's go ahead and do overhead now. Alternate sides. Whenever you go overhead, you're typically working your shoulders. So these are shoulders working. Mostly the front of the shoulders here. And the shoulder muscle is called what? The deltoid muscle. So the shoulder muscle goes all over the whole thing. This is the front of the deltoid. Hold it like this. This will work your side deltoids more. Go up and together. It also can be harder on the shoulders whenever you have your elbows out away from your body. So you can always do it the other way. But we're only going to do 8 of these. So let's do about 3 more. Good. Now let your arms hang. Rear deltoid. So that's going to be pushing back. That's a good one to do for rear deltoid. Stiff arm. You're working rear shoulder. Try to go a little slower, I guess. Let's do 2 more. All right, so we worked that shoulder a little bit. Let's go ahead and stand up. We're going to do those calf raises next. So what we're going to do is go up to the balls of the feet. And do you remember what muscle this was working when we stand? We're working a certain calf muscle. That one is the gastrocnemius. You gotta wonder where some of these names come from. That'd be another fun class to do. Where does gastrocnemius come from? Probably a guy named Gastrocnemius, huh? Let's do a couple more of those. Good. So next I want to work the back of the legs, the hamstrings, and the glutes, the gluteus maximus. So you're going to go down, trying to keep your legs fairly straight, keep your back straight. You're going to work that rector spinae by not letting it relax. Tighten up, and then just go back and forth. Push your butt back, push your butt forward. Exhale up, nice and slow on the way down. Well, let's do 2 more of those. Good. So next we're going to set the weights down. We're going to do some hips and some more hamstrings. So we're going to start with kicking out to the side. And whenever we go out, we're working certain hip muscles, right? We've done this a little bit earlier. We worked that muscle. So it's called the ab or the abductor, taking away. I believe technically it's called abductor longus. Last two. And other side. Yeah, if you're doing a project on muscles and fitness, this is not the video to be correct on. But we'll explore it a little bit. Abductor muscles. Don't put me down as your reference. Four more. Good, and then we'll go side to side. So then I want to work hamstring muscles. And that's just going to be a hamstring curl. And you come down slow, curl, and slow. And I'm pretty weak on the hamstring muscles. I know though that there's biceps femoris, but I think there's about 3 or 4 hamstring muscles. I'll have to look into that. You'll just have to wait for part 2. It'll be amazing. Let's do about 6 more of these. But yeah, we'll remember rectus, or yeah, rectus femoris. 2 more. And let's do the other side. I can't even count. You think I know my muscles? Us trainers are never good at counting. That's just a fact. We've got other things to think about. Although I will say that I do count quite often while I'm working with clients. I'll just count subconsciously almost. It's weird how after 20 years it kind of goes that way. Couple more. Good. Let's go ahead and take a chance and do downward dog here. Stretch out the back of the legs. All right, so we're gonna get right into the band. We're gonna stay standing and we're gonna do some squats. Squats work a lot of the leg muscles. You know, you're actually working the back of your legs, the hamstrings, and the quadriceps, and the glutes. So let's go ahead and put this underneath the feet. Be very careful. You could go without the band if you're worried about balance, and you could do something different if you want. There's lots of exercises that we do. Just pick one. Seated if you want to, if you don't want to do the squats. It's better just to keep going through the workout and do what you can rather than just not doing the workout. And then modify it, make it yours. If there's certain therapy exercises you need to do, you can always do those while we're doing something that you don't want to do. About 6 more. Good, and we'll go ahead and work biceps and triceps specifically for with this band. We're going to start with tricep press. You can stay seated. It's going to be over the shoulder, or you can stand with me in balance. Over the shoulder, right to the backside. Grab on tight. I'm going to balance on the opposite foot. And just keep doing what you can. You have to touch. That's fine. Think of this as just like a little kickstand there. Put it down when you need to. All right, other side. So tricep muscle, must be 3 muscles in there, huh? What are the 3 different tricep muscles? That's the question. Go ahead and move on to this one. So what are the 3 different tricep muscles? Actually, it's just one muscle. Triceps is the name of the muscle, but it connects in 3 different spots. That's why it's called tricep. Gives you a good idea of why bicep is called bicep. It connects in 2 spots. Let's do about 4 more of these. Isn't it funny how things don't always apply? Like, get going on one concept, it doesn't apply to the next part of the body. Like quadriceps is not the same concept as triceps. All right, good enough on that. I think we should have a seat, get our motorcycles out. Like so, underneath the feet, like you're gonna do a row. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna just put the palms down, working those forearms, rev up those motorcycles. About 5 more. So that's the back of the arm, the forearms in the back of the arm. And then there's, flip it over, and then we got the forearms in the front of the arm. Give it tension and then just really move at the wrist. I anchored the elbows in. Okay, so let's cross the handles, get in a rowing position, pulling it back to the hips. And this is going to be those back muscles again, trapezius, rhomboids, a little bit of rear shoulders, and a little bit of lower lat back muscles, and tightening the rector spinae. That's the lower back. Exhale as you pull back, inhale as you go forward. Two more. All right, so then we're going to do some twisting here, looking back behind you so that we really work our abs. So it's not going to be about pulling so much, but using the abs as you turn. Think of turning. This is your oblique muscles mostly working, coming together here and back. All right, so let's take a minute and do some biceps. I think if you want, you could stand up, but you can also do them like this. Just get it nice and even wherever you want. I'm going to stand up with mine. So underneath the foot. And make sure it doesn't slip out and hit you in the face. You don't want to start your day off that way. We're going to go like this, make sure it's kind of at the right spot. And then if you want, you can work your balance too. Work in front of the arm, the bicep. So it's called the biceps. It's kind of weird to me actually that they call the triceps the triceps. They end it with an S, whoever's they. But anyway, it's ended with an S. Same with biceps. It's one muscle, but they have an S on the end. I might have to research that and see what that's all about. All right, other side. Whenever I'm teaching at the club or training people on a machine, like the triceps machine, triceps just seems weird to say. Try the other side there. So I write it down as tricep machine, even though it says triceps. And it's not plural. It's only one muscle. I'm so confused. That's why I just work here. They tell me what to do. 4 more. So what I want to do next is work our back muscles, seated, lower back. We're just about to wrap it up here, actually. So we're right on time. Yeah, we're about to wrap it up. We're gonna do just these lower back muscles, and then we'll stretch. So what you should do is kind of choke up a little bit. And then what you do is you're only moving at that little lower back muscle, the erector spinae. And so you really want to kind of choke up on it. About 5 more. Working your lower back muscles. Those are important. You don't want them to get stiff on you. You got to move them around. Okay, good enough. Let's go ahead and toss that to the side. We'll do some more stretching. We're going to start with crossing the legs, either low or high, and then good posture, leaning forward. Good, and other side. So this is stretching the hip, the abductor muscle, abductor longus, abductor longusus. Got a plural S on the end. Just kidding. Be easier if everything followed some format instead of the English language being whatever. All right, let's go ahead and put the right leg out. Deep breath in. I actually wanted to be an English teacher when I was studying in college. Undergrad work, or community college, we'll say. That's when I found out about this personal training program they started, and I got distracted and moved on to that. But I was planning to want to teach English to kids in grade school, sort of thing. Rotate your ankle. But I realized I like fitness and karate way more. I didn't read nearly as many books. So this is why we're here today. Other direction. But I really love teaching. That's what I learned from karate. So I'm glad that I get to still keep teaching. Point and flex. And I always liked teaching karate to adults more than I did kids anyway. Other leg out. Deep breath in. All right, let's rotate that ankle. Other direction. And then face this way. One leg back. And then back to center. Like you're out of breath here. Take a couple deep breaths first, and then we'll do some twisting. Twisting, looking behind you. And other side. Good, and then we'll face this side. One leg back, same hand is up. Take a couple breaths in the belly. And back to center. Push out, curve your back. And then go to one side. And then other side. Good, reach back, grab the back of your chair, lift the chest. Take a couple deep breaths in your chest this time. Okay, let's do 2 more breaths and we'll just close up. Inhale, reach up. And exhale. 1 more. All right, everybody have an awesome day, and I'll see you next time. Sounds like next week will be part 2, more detailed muscles and muscle trivia.